Well, I received a call last Sunday, Sunday, June 1st, from a man who identified himself as working for the Pentagon. He told me that, there was a bigger story that the American people needed to know, that the White House, in concert with the State Department and the Defense Department, were orchestrating a campaign of threats and intimidation against not only the infantrymen and the military men in Afghanistan at the time, in 2009, when Bo Bergdahl defected, but also against military officers and Pentagon officers to keep silent about what really happened there. Both the soldiers that I spoke to and the Pentagon official said that he was much more than just a deserter. He was actually, they told me, he was an out-and-out traitor. In other words, he was actively hating the United States of America. He was hating the U.S. Army. He was talking about what fools his superior officers were, and he thought he could do it better. He didn't just walk away. He actively went out and sought the enemy, and they said he was collaborating with the enemy during wartime.
Let's all go off the record for a minute, and I guess it's pretty plain. I'm furious at President Obama, and you should be too. At best, he blew it. At worst, he doesn't give a damn. Yesterday, he spoke to the President of Mexico about the border, and according to the White House own notes of that call, as we just discussed, President Obama said nothing, zero, zippo about our Marine, Sergeant Andrew Tamarisi. Now, he's been held in that Mexican prison since March 31st. I don't get it. Why didn't President Obama say something yesterday? Fox News Channel Ed Henry asked about it at today's White House press briefing.
Did the president press that case with the Mexican president?
I don't have any more details of that conversation, but I can take a look into that for you, too.
Okay, that was lame. New White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest dodged that question, and it certainly is not a very complicated question. I'm not asking President Obama to demand release. I'm just asking that President Obama ask Mexico to fast-track the judicial process. Any decent prosecutor or judge, and I believe there are some, looking at Sergeant Tamarisi's case, will immediately dismiss it. This isn't a close case. Now, President Obama had his chance in that call to help Sergeant Tamarisi, but he let us all down big time. And that's my off-the-record comment tonight. That's right. Looks like President Obama did not bother to ask the Mexican president about Sergeant Andrew Tamarisi in their phone call just a short time ago. Florida Congresswoman Elena Ross-Leitonen joins us. Congresswoman, I cannot believe it. I have the readout, the summary. He's talking to the president of Mexico. No mention of our Marine.
It is inexcusable. It is inexplicable. It is obscene. It is horrific. This is a Marine veteran. This is a hero who has served our country in combat, worn our nation's uniform.
2 tours.
Two tours, suffering with PTSD, trying to get help. As you pointed out, because you did that route, it is very easy to make a wrong turn. He took a wrong turn from the U.S. into Mexico, a wrong turn into the Twilight Zone. Meanwhile, he's been in a Mexican prison, and the days languish on for him. And he is beaten. He has been chained. He has been treated terribly. He's had some contact with the consulate. But what about the higher-ups? Well, I personally spoke to Vice President Biden about this case. He was not completely up to speed on it. I explained it to him, handed him a letter. He said he's going to look into it. This was now 8 days ago. What has he done? Well, the vice president today had a working lunch with the minister, the Interior Minister of Mexico. Did he bring up the case of this Marine hero? Also, the President of the United States spoke to the President of Mexico, Peña Nieto. Didn't we just ask about it? No, demand that he be freed immediately. We are beyond the status quo of this Marine. We are in demanding that he be released immediately.
What I don't get, and so I looked at the readout, the notes that the White House supplies itself. These aren't notes I took, but the White House gives these notes of what the two presidents talked about. I'm hoping that this was an oversight, that that he actually had a conversation. They forgot to put it in the notes. I don't think so, because in my wildest dreams, I don't think I can't imagine President Obama not bringing it up with the president of Mexico. But not only that, they've got this petition website. And the White House says, you get 100,000 signatures in 30 days and we'll answer your question. Well, that's a joke. That happened 21 days ago and they haven't answered. It's like nobody gives a damn. Even the new press secretary, he says to Ed Henry, I'll get back to you.
I'll get back to you.
When?
That is exactly what we just get told every time from the White House. As you pointed out in your previous segment, this is a town with no accountability, and that goes right up to the top. Now they'll probably tell us, oh, well, the president did, but it's such a sensitive nature that we didn't put it down in the notes of the transcript of what was talked about. Baloney. This is very clear that it was not talked about, and we're not asking for the status quo. We're not asking for what's happening. We're saying release this Marine. He has suffered enough. And as you pointed out in your show, Greta, remember that Mexican officials have made the wrong turn into the U.S. many a time. And what do? Oh, my golly, we practically put rose petals before their feet. We let them go back with their guns, and it's no problem. And yet one Marine stumbles into the Twilight Zone, and we have to treat him like he's a criminal. This is unforgivable.
I'm not even going as far as you are and saying the president should demand the release. I'm saying the president should demand that they fast track it, that a judge or prosecutor look at the case, because if anyone simply looks at this, he would be released. I'm not even saying step all over Mexico and order them to do something. I'm saying just ask them, beg them, just look at the facts of this case. Do that much.
Well, the problem with just doing that, and you're right, that would be the diplomatic thing to do, is that it's gone on too long, number one. Number two, those jails are controlled by the drug cartels. And number three, they have a justice system that's in quotes because it is not fair and balanced. It is not impartial. And they see Marines especially as our heroes, as the enemies of the Mexican people who are trying to deport them back to their country. So it's not a level playing field. And I congratulate the people, the family, his mom. This has been a grassroots campaign. And I was involved, as you know, because you helped me and Bill O'Reilly in bringing one of my constituents home who also made the wrong turn into the Twilight Zone, John Hammer, and Olivia, his mom. She's helping Jill, this brave Marine's mom, all the way. But how sad that it's almost like a bake sale at the school level when we have all these big forces working against you. The president should be advocating for his release. They shouldn't be up to the moms to plead with elected officials to help them. It's pathetic.
Yeah, and I hope the American people just keep calling the White House, keep pounding it, because sooner or later, call the State Department. Senator Secretary John Kerry can help too. But Congresswoman, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tom, Lance Corporal Brandon Garabrandt not only served his country, when back home in New Hampshire, he served on a fire department. We first introduced you to him 1 year ago when he proudly wanted to wear his Marine uniform to his high school graduation. At sunset, the flag was silently lowered outside the Temple Volunteer Fire Department, where 19-year-old Marine Lance Corporal Brandon Garabrandt also served as a firefighter when he was home in New Hampshire.
He absolutely loved doing what he's doing. He knew the sacrifice, and he was still willing to do it. And it was just a total shock to hear the news.
Fire Chief George Clark formed a special bond with Brandon. He also served in the Marines and says the young Lance Corporal had a drive to serve his country and his community.
Whenever he came home on leave, first thing he did, he was contacting me. Chief, I need a pager so I can help you out. It's just total tragedy. Such a young kid, at a young age, and doing what he loved doing.
Brandon Garabrandt made news 1 year ago. He graduated boot camp one day, high school the next. He wanted to wear his Marine Corps uniform to his Conval High graduation. In the end, he chose to wear the cap and gown, saying he did not want to be disrespectful by covering any part of his uniform. He wore many hats. He was also a Peterborough police explorer. The chief says the three best words to describe him: a young gentleman. And here at the fire department, this family will remember their brother.
Being a veteran, you share bonds with your brothers and sisters of all the armed forces, and it hits you home, especially when you've actually been over there and served overseas. I want them to honor his life and what he did for his country.
I was looking forward to the day he was going to be back with us full time. Unfortunately, he made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms and privileges that we have.
And the principal of Conval Regional High School issued a statement saying, in part, I extend my deepest sympathy to Brandon's family and friends. We are all shocked and deeply saddened by his passing, and we are incredibly grateful for his service to our country. Memorial and funeral plans have not yet been announced. In the studio, Jean Mackin, WMUR News 9.
It is interesting, and you know, it says, Bergdahl is now getting back into the rhythm of things. You know, he's now starting to get into a routine with his team of doctors watching after him, and I'm sure he's going to be protected and coddled, and maybe even told what to say. But I don't think he'll ever be tried. I don't think this administration can handle that. But then again, we never know. You know?
That's true.
Oh, they call it reintegration. He's being reintegrated. He's being acclimated in the hard flight from Germany to the U.S. He's eating and sleeping on a routine schedule. His debriefings in medical care continues. I want to puke after the way these families of these soldiers that died were treated by this administration. This is the reason people should join this ride. We're going to be passing by Brooks Army Hospital, right?
Absolutely, and we hope he sees us if he's still there.
Oh, yeah. Join us, folks. That's July the 12th. We'll be assembling at 2925 East Division Street. The American Motorcycle Trading Company, who's provided us with to use their giant lots to assemble. We're trying to create the largest caravan of bikes in Texas history. Join us. Go RSVP at Sons of Liberty Riders Texas /events on Facebook. Go RSVP now while you're thinking of it. But this that's going on is just what we've witnessed in the last month or so. I mean, with everything that's going on with the border, with the Tamarosi still locked up in a jail in Mexico, with all the scandals, everything else that's happening, it's incredible. Man, wait till I tell you about this. Wait till I tell you about this. It says the administration at Veterans Administration have been apparently busy while soldiers waited to see a doctor. And former servicemen, VA veterans died waiting to see a doctor. The number one job at the VA, going green, saving the planet. Solar panels, windmills, can be more important than the touch of a healing hand. Said the department early on, the Office of Green Management Programs designed to help the VA facilities nationwide recognize opportunities to go green and to reward an innovative green practices and efforts by individual facilities and staff within the VA. That means they got bonuses, guys. This sometimes means paying more attention to greening the department and saving the polar ice caps than health care. In the department's words, it adopted a far more important mission to become more energy efficient and sustainable. That's a key word right there that the progressive use. focusing primarily on renewable energy, energy and water efficiency, carbon dioxide, emissions reduction, and sustainable buildings. When you go hear that sustainable crap, that's that Agenda 21 stuff. If you don't know what that is, please go look it up. We're going to educate you on this show. In the coming weeks, we are going to do just that. The Green Office isn't merely a desk and a telephone tucked away in the dark corner of a nondescript government building. It's a substantial undertaking with all the luxury, bells and whistles and bureaucracy that means business. Erich K. Siskinsky, who resigned as secretary in the wake of the VA scandal, traveled the country to boast of the green initiatives. This is what the guy was doing, you guys. In one instance, he traveled to Massachusetts to flick the switch on a $500,000 windmill project at the Massachusetts National Cemetery. Nationally, he said, VA continues to expand its investment in renewable sources of energy to promote our nation's energy independence, save taxpayer dollars, and improve our care for our veterans. Really? Is your head exploding yet? If not, it should be. VA facilities have become littered with every scheme to banish carbon dioxide, short of requiring visitors to hold their breath. Calverton National Cemetery spent $742,000 on solar panels. For what? The dead people? This is Fort Rosecrans National Cemetery spent $787,000 not to be outgreened by the Riverside National Cemetery, spent $1.3 million on a solar system. These are cemeteries. It says at the Phoenix VA healthcare system, where 20 Americans died from incompetence and cover-up, the department spent $20 million putting solar panels on the hospital roofs. That would have been more than enough money to provide the veterans with the health care they deserved. Is that not incredible? What we're seeing here? What we're reading? Said some administrators won't be satisfied until every federal building bears a green stamp. In a military parlance, the VA is practicing mission creep. The expansion of the project well beyond its intended goals. While the rest of the government continues to waste taxpayer funds trying to become carbon dioxide neutral, the VA should be spending every available dollar to try and relieve pain. Hello, everybody. And what do you think about what I just said, Mel?
Just mind-boggling, just mind-boggling. We've got troops coming back missing body parts, guys in dire need of medical attention, and this is the government's priority, is some green project because they're all weirded out about global warming.